We're back on Let's Have It Out. And I believe we have a caller on the line. We have Nico from Johannesburg on the line. Hi, Nico.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thanks, and you?
Also very good. Thank you guys for a very great topic that you guys are discussing. I'll also say thank you to Mr. Khandani for his principles of buying black and promoting black. But there's something that I want to ask, because I believe that for the South African economy to grow, we actually need to be able to have a lot of businesses in the financial sector, black businesses that are operating in the financial sector and also in the technology sector. When I speak of technology, I'm talking about the telecommunication and also the media side. What is it that is being done to support or to make sure that a lot of businesses can be able to penetrate that market, that they can also have the same influence that white businesses are having in terms of putting their products out there and be able to protect and promote white businesses?
I think we've got that. We've got that, Nico. I'm just trying to move us along because of time. What's your take?
Yeah, Nico, interesting, is one of the young people whose business we are supporting.
Oh, okay.
It's an interesting product that will launch in the next 12 months.
Okay.
But the point that you raised about financial services are very important.
Yeah.
They account for 20% of the GDP. Mining and manufacturing together are about 20% as well. Mining is about 9% or so. So that shows you the size of financial services, right? And financial services, in terms of clientele, is largely black, right? Because you need a critical mass of people, and we are the critical mass of people. Without black people, there's no Old Mutual, there's no Sanlam, there's no Outsurance. None of these big insurance and banks actually exist without black people actually using those services. But financial services has some exclusionary structures in the manner in which the licensing occurs. I mean, if you take, for instance, if you want to be in a medical aid as an administrator, right, you need to have a contract with a medical scheme before you can get a license. Right? But no medical scheme is going to give you a contract if you don't have a license from the Council of Medical Schemes. So you find that the exclusion is actually structured inside the manner in which the industry is regulated. And similarly with insurance. I mean, we've seen a number of people that wanted to enter this market being constrained by regulation. I mean, we're fortunate in that we've mastered the art of living within a regulated environment over the past 8 years. But we do need I mean, if you look at the Banks Act, right? The Banks Act requires you to have a 250 million rands as a down payment before you can you buy anything else that will make the bank work, right? But that kind of amount is a security. But once your bank is the size of Standard Bank or ABSA, 250 million rands cannot be a security because you're dealing with hundreds of billions of rands. So that amount on itself is an exclusion, right? And we have been engaged in the Reserve Bank and saying that there's too many limitations on the mutual bank and the core bank. We want to have a dispensation whereby there's a reasonableness in as far as the amount of money they want you to hold in reserves relative to the size of business that you have.
Well, you see, this is when you look at how the Nationalist Party worked and their Reserve Bank. They helped their banks. They, pumped money in there. And we don't do the same. Do we have a caller on the line? Oh, okay. Well, a caller has disappeared. I just want us to talk about, we have those businesses like Sizwe Medical Fund, which have been around. We have the African Bank, which was started long ago by black people who decided, let's do things for ourselves. What's the difference between BEE and black business? Is there a difference?
The difference is big, right? The BEE is black people making white business look black. And And black
That's
business,
funny.
black people owning, managing, and controlling businesses. Right?
Yeah.
With BE, you participate in dividends, which are about 5% of the turnover of the company, 5% out of 100. With black business, you participate in 100% of the value created. Now, Sizwe Medical Fund is a not-for-profit organization. We administer it through the Chaba Medical Solution.
Yeah.
It's a medical aid that was started specifically for black people. It's very important in a sense that in 1978, when Sizwe was started by the founders, right, black people were not allowed to be in medical aid. In fact, the Medical Schemes Act defined a member of a medical scheme as a white person in employment.
Yeah.
And the founders of Sizwe lobbied because amongst them was, there were 38 of them. There was one white man, Dr. Lutz, who was used to lobby the state to change the legislation so that it says a member of a medical scheme is a person in employment. And Sizwe has been around for 40 years. And we experience the same problems that are experienced by black business in that we find that access to market is hard, that some of the schemes, white schemes, have exclusionary agreements with certain employers. They force on them a particular medical scheme. And these are some of the problems that we're saying that for black business, this whole thing of enterprise development, for us, it doesn't exist. Because we've been operating this business for 8 years. When you run a black business, you don't get hugged by white business in the market. Actually, they'll try to take you out at the feet, at the legs, simply because it's business competition. It is hard.
Yeah.
There isn't an easy way. Business is the replacement of war in the past, in the sense that you're competing for the means to actually look after your families, and it is not easy.
Well, you know, it's too short a time to discuss such an important discussion. And, well, that's it for this edition of Let's Have It Out. Remember to keep the conversation going on social media using the hashtag LHIO. Tomorrow night, Baveli Hlongwa will be in this chair. You don't want to miss that conversation. I'm Pinky Khwabani, and my guest tonight was Khandani Msibi. Thank you very much.